The International Finance Corporation, with the support of the Canadian government, has announced a signing of a $5 million revolving debt facility with Husk Power Energy Systems to support the rollout of its mini-grid projects across the country. The financing marks a pivotal step in advancing renewable energy access through private sector-driven solutions. Now, our Rise Business correspondent Reuters Odiri spoke to the IFC's Regional Director for Central and Anglophone Africa. Let's have a look.
Dahlia Khalifa, good to see you again here in, of course, Abidjan for the Africa CEO Forum, Director of Central and Anglophone Africa for the International Finance Corporation. I wanted to ask you about oil prices because the region you cover, of course, a lot of commodity-dependent nations. Brent is doing about $60 or $65 a barrel. How are you taking that in terms of revenue for those nations?
Well, first of all, thank you. It's great to be speaking with you again. I'm very happy to be here, talking to your audience. So you promised me softballs. That doesn't sound like a softball, but let me try.
Yeah, okay.
Let me try. First of all, you know, prices go up and down.
Yeah.
Up and down. So if we're going to get frenzied over every time a price goes up and, you know, our hair is on fire, then, you know, that's not really the way to look at it.
Yeah.
But more importantly, IFC really doesn't operate in the realm of petroleum. So we are very much looking, of course, through our M300 program, which you may have heard of
course.
In which we, as a World Bank group, are committed to connecting 300 million, at least 300 million households to electricity. And we're doing this in cooperation with the African Development Bank. And we're really looking at ways that we can ignite sources of energy, particularly renewable sources of energy. And, you know, just yesterday, or actually today, we signed one step in that direction for Nigeria in particular. Happy to tell you about it.
Please, tell us.
So we signed today a transaction which will fund a company called Husk, which is one of the first companies that we're funding to generate solar energy in rural areas. So that really connecting people across Nigeria to electricity in rural areas. We have a number of companies that we're looking to work with over the next year or two. That will generate up to 49, maybe even more connect 49 million Nigerians to electricity. And we're really excited about that. And we today signed the first of 7 in the initial series, and hopefully many more companies going forward.
Thank you so much. I mean, that's the reason why I brought up oil, because when the revenues come down, the countries are not able to finance these initiatives. And that's where the International Finance Corporation steps in to help out. So it's a great initiative. There was another one. We heard about Sun King. Can you tell us about that facility?
It's pretty much in the same space. We're looking to generate more power through solar energy. So it's another initiative in that way. And we're really looking at ways that, not just in Nigeria, but you know, across Africa and in the countries that I cover, whether it's hydropower, solar, different kinds of solar. And this is really where we feel is the future for Africa. But of course, gas to power, there's a lot of ways that we can try to bridge this divide that all Africa suffers from, which is that we don't have enough Africans connected to power.
Right.
And today we know that energy is just like, you know, being able to have water.
Right.
You cannot really do anything at the household level if you don't have energy. You can't connect to international markets. You can't connect to regional markets. And if we want to leapfrog, and if we want to bring, you know, finance to rural areas, we want people to be able to use their cell phones. We want them to begin to bring technology to help people find jobs and create jobs. Power and energy is the primary ingredient for that.
How do we scale this up? I mean, because you at the IFC and the World Bank Group, you're chipping away at that 600 million figure of Africans that are not connected. And so, I mean, with these initiatives, very, very helpful. But, you know, in terms of scaling, is this just a case of just needing more money? At the end of
the answer is yes. You know, at the end of the day, what we need to do, IFC, World Bank Group, one party to trying to mobilize more capital from Africa and to Africa. There's not enough public money to go around, and perhaps there's not enough private money that is able to be channeled in the right directions. So we are working collectively to put in place from the government side, that's what we're here actually for the CEO Forum, that
Right.
was one of the themes, is how can we start generating a different kind of conversation between government and private sector, whereby government creates the enabling environment, puts in place the reforms, and Nigeria has been doing amazing reforms over the past year and a half or so, since the government's come into power. We've seen amazing reforms which are putting in place the ingredients to unleash market capacities. So government, creating the right environment, and then private sector, seeing that the opportunities are there, begin to mobilize. And we have to make sure that we all pull together. So public efforts, public money even, and private mobilization, both domestic private capital mobilization and international private capital mobilization. Nigeria, diaspora is all over the world.
Right.
That money needs to come to build Nigeria. And we're hoping that this is the kind of energy that we can build. So another kind of energy,
Yeah.
right? The energy of believing that there is opportunities in the economy here in Nigeria that need to be funded. We know that Nigeria is the most populous country in Africa, and that is a wealth. It's a wealth, the more you can create jobs so that the youth of Nigeria can play their role in the future of the country. And it's not just creating jobs by, it's not some secret hand that's creating these jobs. It is the youth themselves becoming entrepreneurs and creating jobs, but it's also investors seeing the opportunities to create jobs, and that all requires capital mobilization. So that is really our effort and our focus at IFC and part of the World Bank Group, to focus on capital mobilization and job creation.
Hey, and you're very much appreciated for it, and we really do appreciate it, and thank you for your time. Dahlia Khalifa, Director, of course, for Central and Anglophone Africa at the International Finance Corporation. Thank you for talking to
Thank you.
Rise News.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.